Yeah, I've got St. Brown.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, you didn't even say his full name. You said I got Saint Brown.
I don't have to say his full name because everybody knows who he is.
I don't know. You might gotta beat
You
it for
don't
the
have to say
people
his
that
full
don't.
name. You can say his full name if you want to. You know what I'm saying? But fantasy experts, fantasy people, people with titles, people with trophies, we know who he is.
So back to my list. No more interruptions. Number 6, I got AJ Brown from the Philadelphia Eagles. Because, what? He was fourth. He was fourth in receiving. He was fourth in receiving yards last year, with over 1,400 yards and got 11 touchdowns. Like, dude.
Okay, that seems a little high.
This is former Chicago Bear Desmond Clark. And y'all hear me on many podcasts, but when y'all hear me on Pick'em Pros, y'all know it's all about family. This ain't just business.
Yeah, then the suit, this is just business. This is just business. This is just what I do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. You know who it is. I am Derek Thompson.
And I'm Diego Thompson.
And who are we?
We're the Pick'em Pros.
We are the Pick'em Pros coming back at you in the house with episode 50. Episode 50 of Who You Got, the first episode of season 2. We are here to talk about fantasy football. Yes, it is football time. It is July 13th, the time of recording, but it's time to get into football. Basketball has been cool. We got to get back to football, and now it's midsummer. We got to talk fantasy football. We're going to rank our top 10 fantasy receivers. We will give you our top 20 through our website later, but for today, we're going to rank our top 10 fantasy receivers. But before we get into that, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing good today, ready for season 2 to give the people the list that they need to hear in order to win a championship. Because this is a championship caliber list right here that you need in order to win you a fantasy championship.
Yes, well, yes. The key is like you said, win a fantasy championship. Win a championship. So see, I'm coming at y'all from a championship perspective. You know what I'm saying? So you can definitely, trust the information that you're going to get on this show because I'm coming to you from a championship perspective, multiple time champ. So, played in several leagues. Every league I've played in, I've won the title multiple times. So, and coming off this last season, I played in 2 leagues, won the title in one, came in second in the other. So you're definitely in good hands.
Oh, you've had more trials, I think. Since I'm younger, I haven't had as many trials. And you've had like 40, 50 trials. Okay. You gotta win something. I mean, come on, man.
More tries. All right. Well, first.
And I've been in one league for just like 4 or 5 years. So starting it.
Yeah. So you are my friend. So
it's coming.
We're father-son dynamic duo coming at you. You are 13, but you've played fantasy for the last 3 years at least. So you're going into, I believe, your 4th year of fantasy football. You draft all your guys. Diego knows what he's talking about. So I've seen your list. You've got a pretty good list. We actually ranked the receivers, quarterbacks, all those guys last year. So this is our second time on our show here where we're ranking all of our fantasy players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, this time I'm gonna get it right, okay? Because last year some injuries took place, but I'm thinking of those. So
well, man, I mean, injuries are the name of the game. You've got to, there's some luck involved, clearly, right? I mean, you got to be healthy, but then you also have to look at players that are typically injury prone and try to stay away from them. But the name of the game when it comes to fantasy football is certainly injuries and trying to be as healthy as possible. But But one thing I do want to mention for our show. So again, we're Derrick and Diego Pick'em Pros. Who You Got is our show. Our show we will be posting now every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time in the United States is when our show will hit live. So we'll record before that, but our shows will always post from now through all of football season. So the rest of the summer, all through football season, all the way until after the Super Bowl, we will have a football show that will post at 8 a.m. Eastern in the United States here on YouTube. So you don't want to miss. So this week we're talking about our top receivers. Next week it's running backs. Then it's quarterbacks. Then it's tight ends. Then we'll have a couple weeks still before the season. So we will give you our predictions on who's going to win the divisions, who's going to go to the playoffs, who will ultimately win the Super Bowl. We'll do all that. And then during the regular season and the playoffs, every single week we will post and we'll give you every single prediction for every game. And most weeks we'll have Desmond Clark, former tight end of the Chicago Bears, who is another Pick'em Pro. He'll be joining us most of the season as he did last season.
Sounds good. I'm just ready to do what I do. Do what I do.
You ready to do what you do? All right. Well, hey, so we're going to get into our list. You're going to go first. You're going to go 10 through 1. Then I will go 10 to 1, and we'll go from there. However, I do want to mention, man, before we get into that, had a great day today. We went out, played some golf. So that was a lot of fun, man. We got out, played with some guys from TNT Creative Group. That was a lot of fun. And we're rocking. So I'm rocking here today. Got this shirt from Tee Up Kicks. So shout out to Hack Drippulus. Check them out. Information's on the bottom. Tee Up Kicks. They have a lot of real cool golf gear. Different than the norm. A lot of tees, hoodies, jackets, a lot of fly hats. So definitely want to check out Hack Drippulus. So shout out to Tee Up Kicks. All right. Well, let's get into this list, man. Let's get into this. I'm so excited. Football season is here. Why don't you kick us off, my man? Give us your top 10 fantasy football wide receivers for this season, 10 through 1. Again, this is fantasy football, not regular football. So we're not necessarily saying these are the top 10 receivers.
Yeah, so I think I got to take into account, what they in touchdowns, just numbers, if they run the ball sometimes, right. So all that stuff. So let's just kick it off. Kick it off with number 10. I got CeeDee Lamb from Dallas Cowboys.
All right.
He put up great numbers, really good numbers last year, getting nearly 1,400 yards and putting up number one receiver caliber numbers. But I'm not saying he can't do it again. But I mean, I think he can put up similar numbers. But the caliber, there's so many great receivers, so I think it's harder to put him higher than this. So I have CeeDee at 10. Okay. Number 9, I got Deebo Samuel from the San Francisco 49ers. Got him here because of the way he can catch the ball. Usually puts up, well, when he's healthy, he can catch the ball really well, put up crazy numbers there, receptions, touchdowns. But the other point why I have him on this list is his rushing. He impacts the game running wise. So they put him in the backfield. He gets some running touchdowns. So that can help you if you're in like a bonus league. It can help with some bonuses. You can get like that type of stuff. And then that's just more numbers in total. So I can help him put up more for your team. So, but he has gotten some injuries in the past, so I can't have him as high as I want to have him. So I got him at 9.
That's my only concern about him.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I love Deebo, but that's the highest I can put him right now. So number 8, I got DeAndre Hopkins. Even though he is not on a team yet, I think that he will be. He is so good, and I think he is going to be in this range no matter what. So I'm at 8 right now, just because wherever he goes, he's a fit-in, plug-in receiver to where he fits pretty much anywhere, and he'll just run his routes and not drop the ball like he always does. I think he has like the lowest drop rate. It's like 1%.
Yes.
Since he's entered the league, so that's crazy. And just guys get 100 plus catches, 1,300 plus yards, like that type of stuff. Like he's gonna put up big numbers.
Where do you think? Where do you think he'll end up? Who do you think is going to get him?
Man, if he wants to go money wise, I think probably the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
They have the most money.
Okay.
But if he's trying to win a chip, I think he should go to the Chiefs or the Bills.
Okay. Yeah.
So
okay. So
take a discount, but
I understand. I understand that. So yeah. So we know. Okay, money. Yeah, go to Patriots if he wants to chip. Chiefs, Bills. I know the Bills want him to take a discount to come there. But throwing that aside, okay, where do you think? What do you think he's going to decide? Where do you think?
I think he's going to decide Kansas City.
Okay.
Because they just want a chip, and I think they lost Juju, and I think they kind of need a new number one to replace Juju. So if you get DeAndre Hopkins replacing Juju, then what do you get? So
that's
yeah.
All right.
With Kelsey, that's going to be sick.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Got him at 8. And number 7, this makes me kind of sad to say. This is my guy. I got Cooper Kupp at number 7.
Is he your guy?
Well, last year I had him at 1, but he did get injured for half the year.
Yep.
Even though he was half the year, he played 9 games. He still caught 75 balls, got over 800 yards. So he was on pace for 150 catches and 1,600 yards. So he was on pace.
A ridiculous season.
He was on pace for another monster season.
Yes.
But the Rams are in an interesting spot this year. Yeah. I don't really know how else to really say that, but Stafford, I don't know how he's gonna look. Another year older, coming off of an injury. But still, if he stays healthy, then he's a beast. He's gonna put up big numbers, just like he did the year before last when he won Super Bowl MVP and got the Triple Crown and everything. So I still believe in him. But
now, time out. Okay, yeah, you say you still believe in him. You say that.
I still believe.
However, we gotta rewind. Last year. When we ranked no, because I got a bone to pick with you, because I got to get back at you because you tried to call me out. Last year, when we ranked our top 10 receivers.
That's last year.
You were
talking about last year.
Hold on. It was last year. But you were Cooper Kupp, all Cooper Kupp. Dude, didn't you have Cooper Kupp number 1 last year?
I already said I had him number 1 last year. I just said that.
Okay.
And then the caliber of receivers has increased.
One second. Who did I say was number 1 last year when we did this ranking?
Jamar Chase.
Yeah. Yep.
What does that have to do with anything? Jamar Chase only played 12 games last year and got 1,000 yards.
Well, hold on. What did I tell you? I said it's a projection. I said we're projecting.
But he wasn't the number 1 receiver last year.
Yes, he was. He was number 1 receiver.
Let me see.
I took him number 1 and I won. So yeah, he was number 1.
He played 12 games and got 1,000 yards and was 17th in receiving yards.
What did he get per game? His per game was ridiculous.
He only played 12 games.
Oh, I don't. But it averaged out. It averaged out. I still say was.
No, but the projection it's health, right? You got to include health. And he put up great numbers for the amount of games that he played, but he only played 12 out of 17 games.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
but my whole point.
Played 9, so he basically evened themselves out.
My whole point. I'm gonna let you get back to. I'm not gonna interrupt you anymore. But my whole point was the fact that we're projecting, right? So it's not just who were the top guys last year. Yeah, we take last year into account a lot, but then we also looking into this year, things are going to change. It's not going to be the same 10 last year, this year, or going forward. So I see you've kind of learned from that a little bit.
And then Cooper Kupp was going to be number 1 last year.
Okay.
But he got injured, and so I'm being cautious of that. And there's so many great receivers now. I gotta be. I was arguing maybe having him 5 or 6. But I settled for 7. So that's what I settled with. So back to my list, no more interruptions. Number 6, I got A.J. Brown from the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, some might say it's high, but if you look at just overall receiver rankings, some people have him like 4 or 5 on their just regular receivers list, but I have him lower because of the caliber of receivers. And he was tops among fantasy football receivers last year, and I think that he's going to continue the progress. He's really shining under Jalen Hurts, and they're going to be hungry after that Super Bowl got snatched out of their chest by Mahomes and the Chiefs. So I think that he's going to bounce back here and finish with a solid season. So number 6.
Okay, a little high, but okay. All right.
Number 5, I got Stephon Diggs and the Bills. Even though there has been a little bit of drama from the media about Diggs in relationship with Allen, I think that everything is going to be okay. And he put up great numbers typical Stephon Diggs numbers last year. So I think he's going to continue that again. And he's a really safe pick for fantasy because he's always going to put up big numbers. He stays healthy. He's a good receiver to pick. So that's him number 5. Number 4, I got Tyreek Hill from the Dolphins, Miami. He went off last year with 1,700 yards. So I think so. I don't know if he's gonna get that exact same projection because that was such a historic season. But I think him and Waddle are gonna be very prolific together. Tyreek, of course, in the top 10, Waddle not. But yeah, he's also a really good receiver to pick. He gets lots of yards, touchdowns. And he pretty much plays good no matter what quarterback he has. So if it's Mahomes, Tua, if it's Skylar Thompson, if it's anyone from the Dolphins backup, he'll be solid. So I got him number 4.
Okay.
Number 3, I got your guy Justin Jefferson from the Minnesota Vikings.
All right.
Some people could say, "Oh, you're disrespecting him because he was number 1 last year. You should have him number 1 this year." I have learned from Cooper Kupp that is not the way to go. And then just with injuries, stuff happened last year, possible injuries that could happen this year. I'm taking all that into account. Yeah, Jefferson. I think he's gonna still put up great numbers, consistent like he has the last 2 years, but without no really certified number 2 there. Because Adam Thielen on my Panthers, he is gone, so he has no one to rely on, and no one else to rely on that position anymore. But I do think that teams could cover him differently, or they could cover him tighter, because I think from these last 2 years they might have learned a lot. And his speed isn't like Tyreek's, and he can make great catches, but I don't know. I think the way you guard him could be adjusted. So I have him at number 3.
That's going to be very interesting to see this year.
I'm interested to see how teams cover Jefferson. And another thing is that I almost forgot to mention is that he disappears in some games. It's like he'll go off for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns one game and save you a game. Then the next week you'll be expecting him to do that same thing, but then he'll get like 2 catches for 20 yards and just completely disappear for your team.
And the other thing I want to mention too, as far as Justin Jefferson, almost every other ranking that I've seen that's come out early, ranking receivers, has Justin Jefferson at number 1. So a lot of people have him at number 1.
Yeah, that's the thing. And Cooper Kupp was number 1 last year. So that's the thing. So
all right.
I think you gotta adjust, and the number 1 isn't going to be the same number 1 for next year. So Justin Jefferson, number 3. It's good to see how teams cover him. Number 2, I got Devontae Adams. Got my guy. Got a hoodie with his name on it right here. He was on my team last year and really showed up big. He was the main piece and just put up typical Devontae numbers: 1,500 yards, 14 touchdowns, 1,500 yards, 14 touchdowns. Like That's amazing. 100 catches. So he's been doing that year after year. His last couple of years in Green Bay and now in Vegas. He seems to have been relatively healthy. If he misses a game, then it's going to really only be a game or two. I'm not worried about health with him. Not really. And then he seems to play well no matter the quarterback he has. So that's a really, really good pickup to have if you're a team. That Devontae Adams is the guy. So number 1, I got your guy from the Bengals, Jamar Chase. To have him here because I do think that he is the best receiver in the league, actually, or at least in the top 2, around there with Devontae. But I think he's up there. And he has put up big numbers his first 2 years in the league. 1,000+ yards, tons of touchdowns, like just this monster with Joe Burrow as the quarterback. But then it's not only that he's one of the best receivers in the league and that he puts up numbers. It's that he's finished his first 2 years, right? He's going into his 3rd year, which means contract extension. So I think he's gonna ball out, especially this year, just like Justin Jefferson, who was going into his 3rd year last year, balled out, and he's probably gonna get a big extension. So I think Jamar Chase is going to have a Justin Jefferson-like year and just absolutely blow people out the water and stay healthy. So Jamar Chase is my number 1.
Number one. Okay. No, good list. And to tag along with what you said about Chase. So, as we evaluate players and as we're putting our draft boards together and all that, we're always considering contract year. Guys that are going into a contract year, that is super important and something that you want to pay attention to. People that have just gotten paid, that's something that you want to pay attention to. The other reason, what I'm saying, or maybe stay away from, especially if they're a running back.
Yes, running back. Like you saw Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley absolutely lose their mind last year. Being arguably the top 2 running back last year, and that happened to be their contract year.
Yes. So on both sides. So if you have a design, so we're talking about running backs now for a second, but any player who's going into a contract year that has been a good player, you could probably expect a monster year, and you could probably expect them to stay healthy. And and we don't mean that from a standpoint of guys faking injuries or anything like that. It's just like karma. It's just kind of like happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, and then they'll just make sure they just stay. And then they might, if they get like a little like an ankle, if they twist their ankle, then there's a better chance they'll play through it. So
play through it, and then just kind of the like I said, like karma. It seems like when people are on contract years, they don't seem to, especially the major injuries, they seem to stay away from a lot of that. When it's a contract year, so that's a great thing. And then also when guys get paid, especially if they're a running back, again, you may want to stay away from that player because we've seen, I can name a ton of running backs who once they got paid, just weren't the same or kind of had a dip and whatnot. So that is something that you definitely have to watch out for. So good list. You got your top 10 here. I know you've done 20 actually, and we'll release your full 20 later. But see your top 10. I have a lot of your same 10, clearly. Most folks should have the same 10. There's one person that I don't have in my top 10 that you have, and I have a different person.
Oh, okay.
So there's one difference that I have. And then, of course, our order. We have some similarities. There's let's see. I think there's like 2 to 3. When I do a quick look, there's 3 guys that we have at the exact same spot. So we've got 3 guys at the exact same spot, and then there's one person that we have, that I don't have that you have, and vice versa. All right.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and get into my top 10 here on this 50th episode of Who You Got. Thanks for checking us out. Please subscribe to us and continue to help us grow what we started here, my son and I. We appreciate your support. All right. So number 10, we've got wide receiver. Of course, they're all wide receivers. from the Detroit Lions. This is a guy
Oh, okay.
that you don't have. Yeah, I've got St. Brown. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you didn't even say his full name. You said I got Saint Brown.
I don't have to say his full name because everybody knows who he is.
I don't know. You might got to repeat it for the people.
You can say his full name if you want to. You know what I'm saying? But fantasy experts, fantasy people, people with titles, people with trophies, we know who he is. We know who that bad man is out of Detroit. So he is my number 10. You want to go ahead and say his full name and educate the crowd?
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yes.
Receiver from the Detroit Lions, who I do respect a lot. I had him like, I believe, number 12 on my full top 20, but I mean, they're a second tier, I think. But I can't argue a ton having him 10, but yeah. But a little high.
I'm bringing him in at 10
a little high.
Again, what did I teach you last year? It is the projection. We are projecting for this season.
And I projected him number 12. So
all right. So I've got him at number 10. We expected a big year again in Detroit. Expected them. Shout out to the Lions. Shout out to all our Detroit fans. Shout out to my mom. So definitely big Detroit fans in the family. So yeah, expected them to go to the playoffs, expected them to have a big year, and so I'm expecting him to catch a lot of balls and do big things. So he's going to be a big piece to that. All right, number 9, got from the Philadelphia Eagles, got AJ
Brown this low.
Yep. This low. So
that's low.
Again, it's for fans. So beast of a receiver, just physically imposing. If we were to rank our top receivers overall, I'd have him much higher. Clearly, I would not have him number 9. But as far as fantasy, again, he's got another beast on the other side of him who I think is going to get a lot of balls. They have a great running game. They're just so balanced. That's why I just don't know if he's going to put up enough numbers to be a top 5 guy. You know what I mean? So I just and this top 10 to me is so stacked. You know, you can shuffle a lot of these guys around. So I have him, I feel, a lot lower than a lot of other people. A lot of other people probably have him around number 6 or so, but I have AJ Brown a little lower. Don't know how powered that offense is going to be. Think they might come down a tad, come back to earth.
They lost a lot. They lost a lot of people.
Yeah. Then Super Bowl hangover, that is a real thing. A lot of teams.
The Panthers, definitely.
The Panthers. Carolina Panthers. We're coming at you from North Carolina. So that is the hometown team, Panthers. So we're both definitely rooting for them, hoping they get back into the playoffs here. But anyhow, I think there's going to be a little bit of Super Bowl hangover with the Eagles. So might get off to a little bit of a slow start. So I think I've got him at number 9. All right. Number 8, I have from the Dallas Cowboys, I have C.D. Lamb. I know you have him at number 10, and I've got him at 8. Then he's definitely going to get his fair share of targets, clearly. They haven't brought in another big-time receiver to really go.
They got Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, they got Cooks, who's going to –
he's really good. But
and I think that's actually going to help because he's going to stretch the field. So I think that's actually just going to help CD. But
he's not another one, but he's respectable enough.
So I think it's the right balance to help CD. I feel like CD will have his best year. I think he'll have his best year so far. So I have him at number 8. Number 7, I've got from a team to be determined later. I have DeAndre Hopkins. He is that bad of a boy. A lot of other boards have him pretty low, like 17, 16, 18.
17?
Yeah, a lot of stuff. People don't have D-Hop that high, but he's that much of a beast. No matter where he's going to go, he's going to get his targets. He's going to catch the ball. He never drops the ball.
Yes.
And I think he's going to be an absolute beast wherever he goes, and he's going to have a lot to prove. He's going to be on a mission this year. So he's someone. Yeah, he's someone I definitely want on my fantasy team.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
I've been
I had him
thrilled.
on my team last year.
Yeah, yes, you
Oh,
did. Yeah, you got him at a really great time because, of course, he had the suspension, so he was out
mhm.
several games. But what round roughly were you able to get him last year? Do you remember?
Uh, maybe 6, 8.
Yeah,
8?
somewhere there. It
I
was
think it was 8 or 9.
yeah,
Actually,
it, was- it was pretty late.
he was like the third or fourth receiver I picked.
Yeah,
I was
right.
like, I was thinking about it, but when I actually got him, people were sleeping on him.
Yeah,
So
yeah, they had forgotten
he
about.
helped me late in the year.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, but yeah, I've got him at number 7.
Mhm.
All right, this one's gonna shock you. All right, at number 6, the Buffalo Bills. I have Stephon Diggs.
Not that shocking.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it would. I know you have him at 5, but Diggs has been my guy. I've had
Mhm.
Diggs a lot. I mean, the first year,
Yeah, yeah. Now I
the,
think
the,
about it.
the first year he went to Buffalo, I got him late, and I was stacked at receiver because he was my third receiver that year,
Mm,
and he was just a total beast. And of course, you couldn't
yes.
get him that late after that because he had such a huge year. But I'm a big
Mhm.
Stephon Diggs fan as far as what he does, on the field, his energy.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. It's going to be interesting this year. Is he going to start to finally get on Josh Allen's nerves? Is he going to wear out his welcome? I don't know.
Josh Allen gonna get on his nerves.
And who did
I
right?
don't
Who
know.
knows? But I don't know. That's just there's definitely some issues brewing there. Not enough for me to keep him out of my top 6 clearly, but I
Yeah.
would have him a little higher, especially with how much they throw the ball and how much he'd have to get the ball. I'd probably have him in my top 3, 4, if it weren't for the kind of the tension that's brewing. So that's why I bumped him a little bit down to number 6. All right. I think this one will surprise you, though. Here, number 5. Man, this pains because this is my boy, my boy, my boy. But again, I'm projecting. At some point, got to dip a little bit. I've got Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams.
Yeah, man. I
Number
got
5.
Devontae Adams. I got Devontae
Oh
Adams at 5.
man.
Again,
Wow, that's
talent,
low.
total beast, clearly. What concerns me about him, and again, I say a concern, but he's top 5, right?
Mm.
Is how good are the Raiders going to be? You know what I mean? That's my concern. I just don't know how good they're going to
I
be.
don't think it matters because last year he was great and the Raiders weren't good.
But last year they weren't that good, but he still got his numbers. And again, certain receivers, they can be on a bad team and it doesn't matter. They're going to get their balls. They're going to get their catches. And I feel Devontae Adams is in that category. So I don't think they're going to be a good team. However, he's going to get his balls. He's going to get his catches. He's going to get all that. But just with all that factored in, I think there are 4 receivers that are going to put up even bigger numbers, either because they're going to get fed the ball even more or they're just on really high-powered teams. So it's just kind of the average of 2.
Yeah.
Also with Devontae, he's had a long run, man. He's been putting up
Yes.
big time numbers for a while. So at some point, it's going to kind of dip. And actually, I've got a lot of other folks kind of have him 5, 6 this year. He's not rated as high. Now, again, the good thing about that is you can get, I would still snag, Devontae Adams. And if you can get him as your second receiver, oh my goodness. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. I mean, okay.
You see, and I say that depending on where you're drafting, because again, everyone has a snake format. If you're drafting late, if you're like number 7, number 8, especially 10, you might be able to go back to back because some people, you've got one or 2 people that are silly that are going to take quarterback, right? You have some running backs that are going to go. So there's still going to be some top receivers. I mean, shoot, last year.
Yeah, it's going to be top receivers all across the offense. There's so many. Yeah.
Because like last year, I had, I think, the number 7 pick. And I got Tyreek as my second receiver. I took Chase number 1. I got Tyreek coming back as my second receiver. So I was stacked. So there's going to be, especially if you pick late, you have the chance to get a number 1 receiver, a top 5, 6 receiver as your second receiver, if you want to go that way, if you take a receiver. So But yeah, I've got Devontae Adams down a little bit at number 5 this year. Your boy. All right. Number 4, I agree with you. Out of the MIA, I've got my boy Tyreek Hill, the beast.
Okay.
Man, I mean, Miami. So what I love about Tyreek is, for one, he stays healthy, right? I was always nervous about picking him early on in his career because, by him being short and a smaller guy, although he's sturdy and strong, clearly, I was always worried about him getting hurt. So, and in anyone that I have injury concern about, I stay away from. So I was always nervous about him. So I would never take him. But I finally took him for the first time last year, and again had a great season. Would have been even better if Tua hadn't gotten hurt. So he, again, total beast, and I was so hyped because I was able to get him as my second receiver. So it was it was pretty ridiculous having him. But he's gonna have a monster year. They're absolutely loaded on offense this year, and if they can keep Tua upright, Tyreek's gonna put up crazy numbers. So I love receivers that are on good teams that are going to score a lot of points. So got him at number 4. I love him there. All right. Number 3, I got your boy, the guy you gave up on. I've got Super Duper Cooper Kupp from the Los Angeles Rams. That's my number 3 receiver because he's going to get that ball. He's going to get it. They're going to force feed it to him, and he is going to put up big numbers. So, again, the only concern with him is, the injury, but I don't see him having a major injury 2 years in a row. So I feel that he'll play his fair share of games this year, put up big numbers, and got him at number 3. I know some people I've seen even have him as high as number 2. But I've got him at number 3, and if he's able to play the way he has the last 2 years and stay healthy, you can't go wrong with having Cooper Kupp.
I love Kupp. I mean, the highest I would go is 5.
Ooh, well,
I mean, I was thinking about having him over AJ. Yeah, man, I chose AJ. Yeah, man, 3, really?
Yeah, 3. See,
over
son, it's all about project. Don't worry about the wisdom. Just trust me.
Over Diggs.
Trust me. It's a good bet. Trust me. It's a good bet. All right. So Cooper Kupp at number 3. Number 2. I've got out of Minnesota, Justin Jefferson as the number 2 receiver.
You're just oh my gosh.
I've got him at number 2. I struggled because I almost had him number 1. Because I feel that the
Justin Jefferson.
Yes. The only reason I did not put him in number 1 is because I don't know how good Minnesota's going to be. They've lost a little bit of firepower this year. Division's continuing to improve. So I don't know. I just don't know how well they're going to do. Detroit is going to be strong this year. So that's going to be.
I think Detroit's going to finish better than them.
Yeah. So it's just going to be tough. And then you've got, they got the Eagles. You've got just with the whole NFC.
You got the Panthers.
You've got the Niners. I don't know about the Panthers. We'll see about that. Bryce Young.
Bryce Young.
Come on, Bryce. Come on. Hope y'all do it. But yeah, I got him at number 2. He's hungry. I believe he still doesn't have the contract, right?
Oh yeah, he doesn't.
Right. So he still doesn't have the contract. So he has a lot to prove, a lot to play for. So I believe he's gonna get force fed the ball. I believe I think he starts off really hot, has a good year. I wouldn't be mad if I end up getting him as my number 1. I'd be fine with that this year because I feel like he's got another explosive year in him. I'd be concerned then maybe the following year, once he puts another year of those big numbers in and teams doubling him more and then him having the money. But for this year, I'm fine with having Justin Jefferson as my number 1 receiver. So I've got him at number 2 only because of Minnesota. How many points are they going to score a game? And just how good are they going to be. So I have him at number 2. And then as my number 1, again, you learn from me, learn from the best. I've got Jamar Chase from my Cincinnati Bengals. Again, the reason I have him at number 1 is because I feel so with your number 1 receiver, whoever you take as your first receiver, you have to hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have to put up numbers. If you miss on your first receiver, you're done. You're not going to do anything, right? So you have to go with somebody that's going to stay healthy. Now, he did miss a couple of games last year, but even I took him first in both of my leagues. I was still able to win the league and finish second because he played 12. So he played, 3/4 of the season, and those games
he put up big numbers when he played.
Huge numbers in those games. So that was a factor. And the other reason why I've got him number 1 is because of Burrow, right? So he has an amazing quarterback, and it's going to, feed him the ball, and they're going to score a ton of points. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities.
And then you got T. Higgins around him. You got Tyler Boyd around him.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
There's not going to be a ton of, doubling and stuff.
Right. So I feel like it's like more of the sure thing. Although, again, Jefferson may end up putting bigger numbers and all that. But I feel that with the offense that Cincinnati has, they're still on the hunt to get that Super Bowl. I just think that he's going to have a big year. And I think you can bank on Jamar Chase having a big season even more so. That's why I have him as my number 1. So that's our list, man. That's our list. All right. Yeah. Okay. So we will put our entire list. So we have our website launching next month, and then we're gonna have a whole lot for the draft. So again, it's mid-July right now. We still have teams won't start drafting until mid-August at the earliest. But a lot of leagues will start drafting, maybe late August, 1st of September. I know we typically draft like around August 30th, August 31st is when we draft. But we'll have cheat sheets for all positions, and they'll be broken down. You'll have my list, you have Diego's list. We're going to have a lot. We'll have a whole draft kit for everyone to use as you're drafting for this year. So we couldn't be more excited for football and starting to kind of get into that time, and I'm ready to just hit somebody. I don't know about you.
Yeah, well, I actually get to hit somebody. So yeah.
Yes, you do. You do. Yeah, man. So you got your football season coming up, man. So you're gonna play. I know you played a little bit of tight end last year, but you've been training a lot more. Looks like you're leaning more towards receiver this year.
Well, I kind of did. Nick lined me up in both positions last year, so. Okay. We'll see. I might just be a hybrid. Who knows?
All right, you might be a hybrid. Well, we're excited to see that. Your first game is August 17th, so that's the first game. We should have a special visit from Desmond Clark coming down, so he'll be in town. So we may see if we can get him to stop by. So that's going to be a good time. So we're excited for not only NFL season, but excited to see your second season of football at your school on the squad. So that's going to be a lot of fun as you get ready to enter the 8th grade this year. So quick, man, before we go, man, what are the Carolina Panthers going to do, man? They're gonna get into the playoffs this year. You excited about Bryce Young? What's up with your Panthers?
Yeah, I'm ecstatic about Bryce Young. I do truly believe that he will bring us a Super Bowl sometime in his career, and we will get one, maybe two. I know one for sure, but I do think that we will win a division this year, or win a division this year. That's all I know. So
all right, man. So yeah, you got Tampa. They don't have Brady. They probably
New Orleans, I think, is the biggest threat to us because of their schedule, and Derek Carr is still pretty good. So, but. Yeah, I think the Panthers will finish on top.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Well, hey, please make sure you subscribe and turn notifications on. But again, all our shows from here on out are 8 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time. So these are our top receivers. Next week, we'll be back with our top running backs, and then we'll have quarterbacks, tight ends. We're going to give you everything there. Big happy birthday to my dad. By the time this comes out, it'll be the day after, but Friday, July 14th. It's his birthday. So shout out to my dad. Happy birthday to him. Shout out to the whole fam. And yeah, man. And so we're going to take you out, as we always do, to Instrumental by Tavares Jordan out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, producer extraordinaire. So he's got the best beats around. So holler at Tavares Jordan if you need some hot beats. All right, man. You ready to get on out of here?
I'm ready. Just follow my list. Follow my list. All you need to do.
All right, we're gonna follow your list, man. We'll be back next week with the top running backs. Until then, we'll catch y'all later. Pick 'em pros.
Bruce.
Y'all out.
Oh.